7th, and then back home on November 30th against Houston Christian. Coach, why don't you get us started with your view on the week behind and what you want to accomplish with this time back in the lab with the Roadrunners?
Yeah, obviously it was a travel week early, and then got home and played, and clearly not the results we wanted in either game. Some frustrating moments, of course, in both of those games, and then some moments in games where you saw flashes, right? And listen, I mean, flashes are good, but they get your butts kicked. If you're not consistent for 40 minutes, you're not going to win games at this level. And I think ultimately now, like you just mentioned, we got some time off where we really need to evaluate, these 3 games we've played, the 2 scrimmages and exhibition, and just sort of, really hone in on who we are. Because I think that's the biggest thing right now when I watch, our games, and I'm sure when you guys watch our games, who do we want to be on both sides of the ball? That's got to be clearer, and then we've got to drive that home, and we've got to execute much, much better. And obviously that falls on me. Our execution was not where it needed to be Saturday, and we've got to improve on those things. And it doesn't get easier, like you mentioned. We're at Troy for their event, and then there's a Merrimack team there that's really good as well. For you guys that don't know, so a really important 10 days coming up. Where we want to continue to make progress, and certainly it's not going to be perfect, but we need to start. These guys work. I mean, they've been working. They've been doing all the right things. But now it's time to come under, when the lights are on, come under the lights and play better. And I'm excited for, this week of practice and to get out here and compete when we go to Troy.
Sean, I'll let you take the first one.
You knew you were getting a really talented guy when you got Primo Spears, but he's definitely put up some impressive numbers. What has he meant to your team so far?
Yeah, well, I think his leadership, even more than anything he's done from a statistical standpoint, and I want to continue. I want him to continue to, embrace that and grow in that role. He scored a ton of points in college basketball. He's going to continue to score a ton of points. We need him, to do that. We also need him to continue to, value his assist to turnover ratio, getting guys involved, getting us organized, getting us huddled. On dead balls and things like that, and he has, and he has, and so again, that's encouraging, for a new coach with a new program with 13 new guys. We've got to embrace that side of it. I tell these guys, all the time, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's coming, and it's the old adage of the stonecutter, right? You got to keep chipping away. You got to keep being about the right things every single day, and eventually, you'll strike that pot of gold. And I think with Primo, he has. He shows up to work every single day. For one of the first guys in the gym. I mean, I think he's over there right now, and then one of the last to leave. And so I'm really proud of him. Just over these last couple of months, he will continue to be a big part of what we do. Certainly, I know he was frustrated on Saturday with not playing quite as efficient of a game as he would have liked. But again, as a coach, there's going to be games like that where maybe you're not quite as efficient or you're not making all the shots. But our character and who we are as a program and our toughness, that's got to be a non-negotiable moving forward, regardless of who it is, regardless of your talent level. We've got to build who we are starting with that. And once we have that, things just tend to come easier after that, And so at the end of the day, I'm proud of Primo kind of carrying that flag for us, and there's other guys right there with him. And so encouraged by what he's doing on the court, with his play, but also just happy with his leadership and what he's meant for the program as a whole.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Coach. Forgot to say happy birthday last time I saw you, but just wanted to say that, and that's the first question. I wanted to see if you could break down your birthday and what'd you do yesterday? Anything exciting?
Well, I appreciate it, Jerry. It would have been a little bit more fun if the Runners had played better on Saturday, right? Hey, no, it was. Listen, it's always allows me to have great perspective about how lucky I am, to coach, and every year, it's my 6th year now as a head coach, and I'm blessed, and we're always playing on my game. My fiance was giving me a hard time yesterday. Hey, it's like the first time we've really been able to have a free day on your birthday because we had an off day, after a game day. So, To be honest, Jerry, not a whole lot. We woke up, we relaxed. I watched a little football. She made lunch and dinner, and game got me a nice new watch. So we were just relaxing, man. It's we've been ripping and running since we got San Antonio, moving and building a team and practice and everything. So it was nice to just have a day around the house, and then we ended up doing a little bit of Christmas shopping and things like that. So it was a great day. And I'd be remiss to say I didn't watch the game again. I certainly watched the game again last night, and I'm excited for practice today to get out here and improve.
You got to be careful now. You could be catching up to me in years of one of these days.
I'm coming, Jerry. I'm right there. I'm right there. Coaches grow faster. Okay, so they get older faster. So.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to check with you. What is your practice schedule this week? And if you had to have three bullet points on just your areas of focus, what you wanted to try to get accomplished this week, you could break that down for me.
Well, I think offensively, again, we need to really sit down as a staff this afternoon and like you said, bullet points sort of on both sides of the ball. And I think offensively, we've sort of, kind of gone back and forth. Are we more of a two big team? Are we more of a four guard team? And when you really look at the film and start to look at just all of our minutes, I guess it's including the scrimmages, about 200 minutes of play now. I think we're starting to get some clear answers with that. And then within that, sort of kind of knowing your rotation and knowing your lineup, what are the best ways to flow into offense and play off dead balls with that particular sort of model. And then on the other side of the ball, again, I think my issue right now defensively, Jerry, is we're sort of, it's the old saying, man of many traits, master of nothing, right? Like we're sort of just in that gray area defensively, right? And to me, I want to be great at something, right? I want us to really embrace being great at something. And every year that could be something different. Are we taking away threes? Are we turning people over? Are we really focusing on rebounding? And I think every team and every league and every year is different. And so, again, I won't give you, all the answers to the test. You got to come into practice, Jerry, and check that out yourself. But certainly there will be, on that side of the ball defensively, we got to figure out just our identity, and that's both sides of the ball. And that's probably my biggest, just frustrations early on with this past week is it's not that we're not competing. I mean, we're playing our butts off. We're playing hard, obviously, a little shorthanded Saturday. But there's going to be games where guys are hurt, injured, whatever the case may be, and you got to be able to overcome that, And so at the end of the day, I think it's just the biggest thing is it's a big identity week going into two really good games against Troy and Merrimack. Teams with, obviously, Troy, I think, was picked second in the Sun Belt. Merrimack has a championship pedigree. I mean, they've won the league, I think, 2 of the last 3 years. And so Coach Gallo does a great job with that zone. So it's a big week for us. It's a big week, understanding who UTSA basketball is going to be and working toward that.
Nas is somebody who didn't see a ton of playing time last year, but really was a spark for you on Saturday with a number of career best statistics. How have you seen him grow since you first arrived?
Yeah, well, again, Nas is someone that, stylistically he's got good size. He can shoot. He drives it. He's getting older, which is always good. Best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores, right? And so, he's just in that second year. He's more comfortable. His body's grown into that, just a stronger player than he was last year. He's got to continue to improve on certain things, and playing off two and being under control. But I think most people that know him would obviously say the biggest thing, not to, it's I wouldn't say the biggest thing. Obviously, his play is the biggest thing. But I think an added huge benefit with Nas is how much he loves UTSA and loves this community and this school. And again, I'll harp on it all day. We're not going to win here without guys that really embrace being here and love this school and love what it means to play for UTSA. And Nas is a pillar of that.
Jerry, go ahead and jump back in.
Hey, Coach, just want to ask, you mentioned, you guys were talking about Nas a second ago, and I was noticing the players at that position. For instance, Nas was in there at the 2 or the 3 or whatever a lot last
Yeah, I think Jared, that's a great point. I mean, we've got a lot of guys on this team really in that situation, and Sky and Nas, really highlight that. Especially Sky. You mentioned it. I mean, he's coming from a place where he averaged 15 a game, took a lot of shots, dribbled a lot, and we're asking him to sort of play a completely different style and role here. And again, with really our whole team. I mean, you watch that game, man. Sky. He's competing, he's flying around, and man, we just couldn't get shots to fall early. Sky had some really good looks. Nas, Pre. I go back to I thought against Bradley we didn't manufacture enough open looks. I thought the other day in the first half, man, we got good ones, and we couldn't get them to go down. You got to credit Little Rock with some of that for sure. But again, you mentioned it. Rhythm is such an important thing for a player. And we're only 3 games into this thing, and these guys will continue to kind of grow in that. And trust me, I want that to happen faster than anybody. And these guys do, faster than I want it, right? And again, we've got to continue to just embrace that progress every day. So we got to continue to work. I promise you, Skywix is in the gym, Nas Mahmood's in the gym. I mean, all these guys, and that's why I want them ultimately to come out here and show that. Sooner than later. I know how bad they want it, but that's part of building a program, and that's part of you got to stand in that struggle before you can stand on the top of the mountain, right? So we got a long way to go, but certainly I'm pleased with the mentality of these guys and how hard they want to work and get in the gym.
Sean, let's jump you back in.
Troy is a program that's been consistently good. It's a tough place to play. What are you hoping to get out of this trip next week?
You're always hoping to get wins, when you go on the road, and certainly we've got 2 of them. Of course, Coach Cross is an extremely successful coach. They're really good. They have an incredible culture over there at Troy. And again, I don't know the exact year he's been there, but it's been a while, and now it's something that's established, and they're competing for Sun Belt championships every year. It's one of those games you're not going to win if you're not tough. You are not going to beat a Coach Cross-led team if you're not playing together, not connected, not on a string, not sharing the ball, not rebounding, not embracing physicality. So again, that's we love those kind of challenges, because we're gonna see that every night, in the American. And so and then that game, 2 days later, that's if you guys don't know, Coach Gallo is a zone specialist. They do they present a lot of challenges, for what they do, their activity, and creating turnovers and things like that. So again, this is going to be a trip where if you don't play well, you're not winning, and you could lose if you do play well. Those are the exciting games that you want. Those are the games where when you win, it means something, right? And so really good challenge for us coming up. Let's like I said, big week of practice, and let's get out there to Troy and play better than we did this past week.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, Coach, just wanted to check, are Raekwon and Damari, are you still expecting them back in practice today? And just what's the status of their situation right now? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Jerry, I would expect him back. It's really just that simple. I would expect him back, and obviously ready to move forward and help us win games.
All right. Anything else, guys? Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Coach, for taking the time. We will not be back on a weekly press conference next week, as we will already be in Alabama. With Thanksgiving right behind it, we'll work on any dates we can make available before the Roadrunners head out to California at the beginning of December. Thank you very much.
Birds up. Thanks, guys.